Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Hopefully you like this Daily Planet 2 music. No, go away. Superman for NES. You have a couple good themes, and this one's okay-ish. There we go. This is exciting enough. I think I'm feeling the energy. Everybody, welcome to the final match of Sunday for Kusog7ande. We are still in round one, the Iron GM. Thank you to everybody who subscribed and who is supporting the stream. It is very much appreciated. We do give out over $2,000 worth of prizes, and every little bit makes a huge difference for me, especially since it comes right out of anything that I make from Twitch. So all of the support that you give, definitely a big help. With that said, I don't think I had time for Crappy to go travel somewhere else. So, Crappy, guess what? Go back to Bubble Trouble Land. Welcome to my life. Bubble Trouble, that's what it is. Well, Iron GM, this round specifically, we give 3 choices to the players for who could give them a game. If they choose the same person, then congrats. They love that GM, and the GM shows up and showers them with beautiful, glorious games. If they choose different GMs, though, then they get the one that neither of them chose, who may come and give out something very, very bad, like Novasol. I can't believe you, Novasol. With that said, let's go ahead and reveal the GMs, because we've got Iron GM Jack Sparrow stunt double. That is our friend Tempestroll. We also have Iron GM Blahe. As y'all know, the donkiest of the clonks. And finally, Iron GM Taggin Dragon. It is our friend NPC Lives. Let me make sure I actually have the correct... Nope, I gotta download one more icon, because welcome to my life. These are the 3 who could have been chosen. Okay, and I'm almost ready. I'm so close. I also want everybody to know that apparently nobody ever goes and changes their icon names to their usernames, and so when I am given a name to use, or when I'm given an icon to use, I have to go through all of the loops of trying to, like, yeah, anyway, blah, blah, blah. It's fine, I can deal with that. I am a full-grown adult. Well, talking about full-grown adults, let's see what these players chose. Turns out that Triscore chose Donkey Klonk, and Spring God decided to go and choose Donkey Klonk as well. That's right, we have a love match. The players have chosen Donkey Klonk as their GM today, which is going to be pretty dang fun. Let's see, Donkey Klonk will be joining us in just a second. Hopefully, Donkey Klonk. Did Comcast really happen again? No, Comcast is not our GM. Our GM is Donkey Klonk, not Comcast. Hello there, Donkey Klonk.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, I'm fingers crossed that my internet is stable enough for the last match of the day, because Comcast has been the biggest patootie in the world, and I just want to go and kick them. With that said, you're here ready to kick other people. No, they chose you out of love. They chose it, and I'm really excited to see what you have opted to give these 2 players today.
Oh, I am giving them an absolutely fantastic game. Konami made a groundbreaking, amazing run and gun that defined the genre, and the sequel even exceeded that. Yes, we have Super C for Amiga, but details.
Oh, it's for Amiga? Okay. I like just looking at the sprite art, it almost could have been C64. Let me go ahead and change that for my layout here. The players will have 1 hour to make as much progress as they can in Super C for Amiga. Whoever does takes the victory, and we'll move on to the round 2 of the winner's bracket. The loser will be sent to round 1 of the losers bracket where they will be fighting to stay alive. It is double elimination, and honestly, I don't know, like going to a quote-unquote standard game for a match is kind of fun. I mean, Super C, this raises a lot of questions for me. How similar is this to the other ports of the game?
I think this is based on the arcade version rather than the NES port, because I think the NES port added things to the arcade.
Okay, I mean, that makes sense. With that said, having a game based off of an arcade version, not unheard of here in Kusog7ande. We have had many ports. And I think last year in Kusog7ande, we actually had a round that was specifically bad ports of good games, and that was a lot of fun for me. With that said, this absolutely looks horrifying, and I will probably have to recapture everything after we get started, and I am willing to do that. Necrodancer, you've got good music, but you're too good. Go away. Let's see what the players are listening to. Spring God. What does it sound like? Oh, yeah! See, this is Necrodancer or Super C, you know? Which one would you take? Hard to say. I think Necrodancer. It wasn't that hard to say. Ugh. Okay, this is certainly music. Well, here we go. We're just getting ready for the match here. I think I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Right here. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, enjoyed the intro because it's pretty much the only enjoyable part of this.
Oh, come on. They chose you out of love. Love, Donkey Kong. I'm sure that this game is better than you're making it out to be.
Well, I kind of did not have a good day. I sent a message in the GM chat that would have gotten me kicked out of the server if it wasn't a more public chat.
I swear, maybe temporarily sent to prison jail, but that's fine. Yeah, hopefully this can cheer you up a little bit, though. Where do you want them for the countdown?
Well, I told them to make a save start at when the game begins, because the loading times in this game it loads at a glacial pace. So they're just going to load the save state, which is at the beginning of the game.
Okay, I have told the players, load the state. What is this place? Right here? I don't understand this dialogue, but it's pretty good. Okay, we're gonna do the countdown. So I need everybody to get all of your muscle men, all of your Super C emotes. We are doing the countdown. Spam anything that is appropriate for this game. I want to see your emotes.
I tend to give games that give Macaw 45 subscribers a chance to show off their emotes.
You gotta show off your muscles. It's important. And here we go, the players off to a quick start. I will do a quick recapture to make sure that we get all of the beautiful details as big as possible so that you have the true experience here. So talk to me about this game. What do we have?
It's Contra, but not as you know it. As you see, Sprint God has already lost 4 lives in 20 seconds because this controls like a cow on roller skates. It's up to jump and it's also up to shoot up.
Up to jump and up to shoot up. Oh, this is a beauty. Okay, I'm already liking it. I'm liking what you are sharing with me. I've seen a few games do something similar. It's just usually not a great strategy to do that. Is that a full game over?
Yeah, there is a full game over within the first minute for Sprint Guard.
No.
And you get 10 lives. 10 lives.
Oh, no. I mean, to be fair, I rarely survived Contra for very long, so that's probably my experience in normal Contra anyway. Here we go, Sprint God, back in for attempt number 2. We have a full hour of this beauty here.
If I hadn't given them a save stage, then the game would have taken longer to load than to play a full game of.
Oh my gosh, I love the sound effects in this. I also love that you said if there was ever a game to like have during Comcasting, this is the game because we wouldn't even notice. Well,
yeah, this game drops the frames for you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I just saw that you've had a pretty crappy day and that you just needed to unleash vengeance on somebody. And you know what? Love is having people play games that makes them hurt. At least that's my love language. That's why I gave Justin Conan. But seriously, I'm glad that you're home and that hopefully you're able to relax a little bit now and just enjoy all of the pain here.
Yeah, the last match kind of kept one in good spirits.
Yeah. Bum 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 bum. Good music. That's how you know that you've written a good song, because you don't need all the notes on the keyboard, just one. Dot 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 dot. Oh yeah. You know what?
Dum 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 is a good bass line. Yeah.
I also apologize. I've got food here that, as I do commentary, it's always a little bit difficult to keep, to actually eat my lunch, and so I'm just trying to finish it. So I'll try not to be too quiet because I really want to talk about this game. But occasionally, I'm gonna have a piece of meat in my mouth, and that is literally a piece of steak, maybe some potatoes. Potato ain't meat, but whatever, it's tasty. But this is really, really good steak, and I do not want it to go to waste because Justin put love into this, and then he mooned me, so that's great. With that said, what are is there anything special that the players are having to fight besides up to jump as well as up to aim?
Just the dropped frames, the general lack of responsiveness. There is input lag in this. Basically, if you think it looks bad, it controls even worse.
Yeah, I don't think have I beaten a Contra game? I don't think I ever have. And I don't think I've played more than maybe a few seconds of Super C. I would like to play more though.
Oh, I think this is the end of the level for Sprint Card. Sprint Card is in the lead now because the screen stopped scrolling. This is further than I have reached. No, yeah, I tested this game for quite a long while, and I didn't beat level 1. These are some really good jumps that Triscorp is making, because the controls just do not afford you any precision. Like Triscorp saw the bullet, he should have jumped the bullet, but controls didn't allow him to.
Okay. Oh my gosh, is Sprint God shooting dynamite? That looks like a dynamite gun, I gotta be honest.
Triscorp
has
also
a
at
rocket
the level 1 boss.
Okay. It looked like
orbs
this
is a gun marker where your entire sprite is the hitbox.
How is... Oh my gosh, the lag. This is so lag.
It is. But the Triscorp has the turrets down on this helicopter. And jumped into the helicopter. So something I didn't experience myself, but one of the people testing this game pointed out that you might or might not get 10 extra lives when you finish a level, and that depends on how many lives you have left. So if you do too good, you don't get the extra lives from completing a level.
Do-do-do.
Yeah, and the chat pointing out, yes, you need to aim up to hit the helicopter, and it's up to jump.
Up to jump. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Blah 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 blah. Is this stage 2 for Triscorp?
Not the player has reached stage 2. Both players have died at the boss of stage 1.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I know that the Commodore 64 had at least one controller you could get that had 2 buttons. Didn't the Amiga as well?
Well, Commodore 64 and Amiga used the same joystick port as the Atari, and the Atari introduced the one-button standard. So having 2 buttons was not a prudent option to give because it was so uncommon.
I see so many 2-button joysticks, though. Like, if you just look up an Amiga joystick, it's all over the place. Like, this
yes, a lot
button.
of Amiga joysticks had 2 buttons, both mapped to the same fire.
But because there was inevitably going to be somebody who only had a joystick with 1 button, everybody planned for that and made it so that you were going to be using 1 button, right?
Okay.
Why not add control options? Just have 2 options.
Sprint God beat the boss.
Yeah, very nice, Sprint God. That is pretty awesome.
Triscorp as well. This is a great match. So I think Sprint got reached a few pixels further there on the stage. At least it's better than the C64 port of the Contra, which was not allowed to be sold under the Contra name, in Euro, so it was called either Greiser or Probotector, which kind of sounds like Probotector is not a fortunate name now. Anyway, on the C64, it's space to jump.
It's space to jump. Okay, could you play with keyboard controller or controls then on the C64?
I guess I haven't actually played that.
Did you just have to use joystick and keyboard? Because that sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, a lot of C64 games had some kind of action mapped to space.
Oh, well, okay. Some kind of action mapped to space, I'm fine with that. As long as, like, you don't have to use both. Because like, yeah, okay, sorry. Keep going.
And because of a quirk in how the joystick and the keyboard on the C64 works, it was possible to plug a joystick into port 1, and if you press fire on the joystick on port 1, it maps to the spacebar.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that completely makes sense then. Honestly, it always kind of boggled my mind why joysticks were usually port 2, but that's because it's a home computer, you know, the Commodore 64 and the Amiga home computers, and like the video games were sort of secondary to the main purpose. Although for people like me, this was the main purpose, but for other people it wasn't. Yeah.
It wasn't exactly uncommon for the C64 and Amiga to be mostly gaming machines.
Oh yeah. With that said, this game still is, like, I wouldn't say it's the worst game I've seen on the Amiga by far. Like, this is playable. It does try to push the Amiga to its limits, and unfortunately, like, the frame rate is a little terrible in certain areas.
No. This is just
fine. It's trying to push the Commodore 64 to the limit. Whatever. It's an Amiga game that pushes the Commodore 64 to its limits. That's what we have right here, baby.
I agree. This is the standard you would have seen on Commodore 64, but the Amiga could do so much better. I mean, New York Warriors, look how smoothly that runs. It's not a good game, but it's a much smoother run and gun. Sprint got onto level 2, by the way.
Yeah. But yeah, well, I'll go ahead and give that That's my official subtitle for this game, Super C, the Amiga game that pushed the Commodore 64 to its limits. Honestly, the sprite work is not the best. The action, especially when there is a boss on the screen, it is so slow. Oh my gosh. However, yeah, if you get 10 more lives when you get to the next level, I suppose that's a little more fair.
No, because it's not reliable. If you do too well on a level, then you don't get 10 lives.
Are you serious?
Yep.
So you have to do just bad enough, like...
Yes, and I don't know what a cutoff is.
This is so good. I'm so excited for this. I love that, like, I look at the credits for the Amiga version of Super Contra, and all I see is cover art by Tom Dubois, who probably did the artwork for the other versions of the game as well.
Yeah, the cover art is the same as the other versions.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I might not want to put this on my resume as well. Gotta be honest. I don't know, like... If you're in charge of doing this, and you just have to pump it out and get it finished, then it gives you at least something to talk about during the interview, right? Yeah. But I can understand that some people might want to be known for other versions of the game and not this one. Ooh, apparently we have somebody linking the programmer, who is Foster Hall. apparently they worked doing assembler programming, and if they did this game using assembly code, then holy cow. That would be pretty impressive.
I think pretty much everything on the Amiga was assembly because there was such a performance penalty even for using C.
Are you serious? Oh my gosh, this guy did The Simpsons Bart's House of Weirdness. I love that game. It's not good, but holy cow. I do see Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit. They did the foreign speech recording. They worked on programming for Scooter's Magic Castle. Various Need for Speed games. Okay. At least in my heart, this person is legendary. But holy cow. I really like this music. It's not great, but it's at least it's using the bass that makes it sound like it's a Seinfeld game, so it's good.
Ooh, yeah, that slap bass.
The slap bass needs to be used more often. Come on, everybody. Pull out all of your slap basses and just get slapping. Here we go. Sprint got back onto level 2 with only 3 lives. Unfortunately, Sprint got did a little bit too well.
Too many.
Yeah. Why? Why is the game like this?
Because it's in Kuso.
This is definitely Kusog7ande. Hey, we're a bad video game tournament. Sometimes there are going to be studios who do not do the best. I wonder if Sprint God's going to say anything about that. Okay, nope, I don't see typing in Discord. Apparently the players are at least, like, they feel like there's hope, so they're not busy gossiping in Discord. Sometimes you can see, like, when somebody really dislikes a game, that they talk a lot.
Yeah, so this was a game where either we would have 2 players who know a lot about Contra, or 2 players who knew little about Contra, and we had the latter, and I think we would have more emotions if we had players who had played the good versions of this.
Yeah, I think so. By the way, other games that this company has made, they made Castlevania for DOS. That's right, DOSylvania. Apparently Outrun for DOS, Genesis, Amiga. We've actually seen Amiga Outrun, which... and we've also seen what the Amiga could have actually done with the game Outrun. I believe I saw a video of somebody who went and essentially remade it working on the Amiga, and it was beautiful. The actual version that got released, though, is so bad. Where in Europe is Carmen Sandiego? Altered Beast for DOS? I didn't know there was a DOS version of Altered Beast, but I know that now.
I think this is the first time Triscorp sees level 2.
I believe it is. Let's see how Triscord does. Will Triscord get extra lives? Nope.
Nope.
2 lives. Well, you might have to be on your last life in order to get the life refill then, which honestly is really dumb. I don't like that.
Nope.
Well, with that said, the Spring God may be aware that he did get a life refill before moving on to level 2. Triscord is not aware of that yet, and thus may take a little while before learning that that is a possibility. However, oh my gosh, that is such an obscure thing to discover. Especially, like, because every single time you play, you're probably going to be doing better than before. And if you don't, you may reset early on in order to have your full set of lives. Yeah, Triscore already reloading, from what I can see. Oh no.
Yeah, I think
No, I don't think it would be fair to tell them. at this point because one player has discovered that and one hasn't. They both have the same information going into this match.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
I really thought it was more than just the last life, though. Didn't know it was just having one life, the last life that gave you the 10 life refill.
That or you have to get a certain
That was
score
more than I
getting
expected,
there.
even from this game.
Yeah, this is amazing. With that said, I think that there can be both risks and rewards, because if somebody does get to the boss and is trying to get onto their last life to get a life refill, they have to be careful to not die one extra time, you know? Whereas conserving your lives may actually end up being more beneficial, because if you can consistently get to level 2 with like 7 or 8 lives left after level 1, then you might actually have an easier time than somebody who is dying on purpose to get down to 1 life left to get that refill.
I agree. Even if you know about the refill, it is risky, and it is risky to play for.
Okay, Springcott really trying to make sure that nothing just kills him right at the end of this, and I think that's a good idea. Be careful, don't die. This is your last life. Oh my gosh.
But Sprint God had a few lives left earlier in the level. This might not even be planned.
Okay, let's see what happens. Nope, 1 life left.
Oh.
Excuse me?
Boy,
is it score-based?
No, it's whoever scrolls the level the furthest.
No, I mean, is it scroll-based, the life refill?
I have no idea. I thought I knew what. From my best information, it's the number of lives, but I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, in my opinion, like, this is something that is just really strange, and in my opinion, if the players can figure it out, then they are definitely welcome to use it. I am fine if it's a glitch, if it's intentional. I don't care. I don't know about it.
Let's just call it a random drop. The game randomly drops 10 lives.
If it does that, that is... Okay, I'm gonna see if I can find a little more information about this, because this is a little strange. Okay, Triscore, do you get a life refill here, or do you start with 2 lives? If it is purely random, then that's something we'll want to talk about. Otherwise, let's keep going. Yeah. Well, this is Kusog7ande, the Bad Video Game Tournament, and as it turns out, bad video games are bad. Good video games are good. Bad doesn't mean unenjoyable, and good doesn't mean fun. Rather, this is generally reflected on the amount of time spent making a game, the quality versus the expectation for what people would get, and we love bad video games over here. If that means that things are gonna be weird, then or if things are going to break in ways that we did not anticipate. Well, that's sort of the experience when it comes to bad video games. We've had people accidentally wrong warp through bosses. We've had people get extra lives in ways that we didn't expect. And that, for me, is generally not enough to prevent a match. The biggest thing is if there are things that are completely, like 100% out of players' controls, then it's something that may not be right for Kusog7ande. Still, it's a fun experience to be able to see this game and see like a port of this game that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah, Ocean made some pretty... They churned out the arcade ports for the C64 and the Amiga system.
Ah!
Triscorp getting to the med boss with all 10 lives and preserving the spread gun, that's impressive because of how easy it is to, to die in this particular port.
It's like the upgrades would be great if like you didn't suddenly die because somebody was 10 pixels above your sprite, you know? That would be... And the fact that you lose all of your upgrades on one hit, it's very brutal. That's how Contra always was. It's just that this version, it has no continue system. It's just absolutely evil. Yeah.
Well, when you boot the game, it asks, do you want to start a new game or continue? And nobody has ever figured out how to continue.
Oh, it actually does give you a choice between new game or continue? How do you continue then?
I'm just going to assume it's completely broken. Or it might be like Castlevania, which was ported by the same developer, where it's Control S to save.
Yeah, I would say that, like, if for some reason it is Control S and that wasn't given to the players, I wouldn't want to allow that. Like,
no, and
especially this far in.
I specifically told the players to load a save state if they get game over.
Oh, perfect.
And that means they don't get the continue prompt on the load.
Good.
That I foresaw. The extra lives being so unreliable, I did not.
Yeah, and that's okay. You know, no matter how much practice, which sometimes people have, our players or our GMs have spent hours playing these games and had other people test them for hours, and there are still some issues that are going to pop up that just do not make any sense. Why? I don't know. It's bad games. That's bad games.
Sprint Corp is on level 2 with 6 lives, and he's playing quite carefully as opposed to Sprint God, who rushed the level with the extra lives.
Yeah. But I'm actually really enjoying listening to this. This is kind of fun. I think I may have found the Amiga manual. Let me see if this has any information here. Oh, nice. It has a screenshot of eBay. That's helpful. How do I go back? Oh, just click again. Okay, that's informative. Thank you. Are you serious? Oh my gosh, okay. This is so stupid. I'm very upset. Okay, let me explain why. Because this link that I found, specifically, they're like, hey, you can find the scans of the manual and instructions here. And then apparently everything is listed in the miscellaneous screen, but it actually doesn't have the manual in there. Thank you. Thank you so much. Really, it's understandable that people might not be keeping as much of a track of some of these old games that people don't like as much. But I wish that it became like that we had the manuals for games like this saved. Someone's like, does anybody have the manual for this page? And then this other person is like, check here for the plot. And it's like, I don't want the plot, I want the manual. And then I click there. It neither has the plot nor the manual. Specifically says there's currently no text in this page. That doesn't help me. That doesn't help me at all. Okay, so this thing that I'm reading right here, Amiga conversion of Super C was designed by the same company that did the DOS conversion, blah, 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 blah. There's no bias to using a joystick, gamepad over keyboard, or other peripheral hardware. Players gain 10 lives after completing a level like in the DOS game. Yeah, well, thanks. I don't think that's necessarily true. Including up to a maximum of 20 lives. There are no known cheats and no continues, but progress can be saved and loaded. Are we sure that Triscore is reloading as chat? Yes, because we do not go through the intro screen. I'm pretty dang sure we're getting reloads, yes. Okay, Sprint God has 10 lives. Well, it looks like it worked this time. I do not know what Sprint God had before getting here. Apparently, Sprint God did finish level 1 with over 100,000 points, and that might have been the case there, Donkey Klonk. I was sort of speculating it might be something tied to score. I just wish there was information available literally anywhere that would tell me that.
The players can figure it out along with us.
Oh, yeah. Stages, arsenal, opposition, you have the foot soldiers, you have the snipers, you have grenadiers, yeah, those boys. Let me see, does this page have any other information about this game? There's actually a giant on contrapedia.wordpress.com, a giant article about this game, and it's actually like really informative. This is great. The whole plot apparently is that the Red Falcon returned to Earth after its first defeat, bringing new aliens and weapons to its aid. Its prominent new attack strategy is compromising the minds of U.S. military personnel. Mad Dog and Scorpion have far greater odds against them when facing the pact of the aliens and their own comrades. Yet history repeats as the two guerrilla veterans gain another victory over Red Falcon. It's directly the same plot as the NES game, and that's about it. Yep. Apparently, the Nintendo 3DS game New Love Plus has a version of the second stage's theme in it. The game New Love has a song from Super C. Okay, that's really oddly specific, but very nice to know.
I think the music is different in this port, though.
This is specifically talking about the Amiga version, though. The page that I'm reading here. So I'd have to go and verify, but yeah, this is completely about the Amiga version. But yeah, I'd like to play a dating game that had Contra music. If it is a dating game. Would you date to a Contra-themed Donkey Kong? I think I would.
Well, Konami made some famous dating games. I think Konami is behind the Tokimeki Memorable dating series, which is... which I heard is...
I haven't heard that much about it. I don't know if it's any good, but yeah. Okay, well, it looks like Triscore is almost through stage 1. I'm gonna watch the score and see what happens here. Sprint God is reloading now, and yeah, in general, we would say, I would say that if players can figure something out that another player was not able to, they are more than welcome to use it. So there we go. Triscore is through 130,000 points, moving on to the next level. Is this enough to get 10 extra lives? Yes, 13 total lives. We indeed have 13 lives for Triscore. This is going to make a huge difference.
Ooh, let's see how Triscorp handles it, because I know Sprint God got beyond the red door.
Ooh. Yeah.
And both players have had the same opportunity.
Yeah, I'm glad that, at least the developers knew that this game was so hard that they're like, okay, we'll go ahead and let you get extra lives. I do think it's score-based.
Well, the problem is that it is difficult. The problem is more that it's unfair with the laggy controls, the bad hitboxes.
Yeah, when you feel like you're fighting the controls more than the game, then that is a problem. When you're fighting lag, when you're fighting the unfairness of the game, and you aren't feeling like you are at fault for dying, then that is an issue. And honestly, it's something that is difficult when it comes to game development. Even there are plenty of good games that oftentimes you just feel like you were robbed when you die.
Yeah, and I felt like that a lot testing this out. Even Mike Uyama, Contra fan, tested this out and didn't like it.
Well, yeah, I wonder why. It's not a good Contra game. Not at all. However, I really appreciate that we have this, and I would say that at the very least, it seems like there's not a whole lot of randomness. Even though it's bad, it's somewhat learnable, and that makes it a little bit more tolerable for me. As soon as you add in a whole bunch of RNG to a game that's barely playable, it's well, okay, good luck. I'm done.
Bullet patterns and enemy patterns in this don't feel fair and predictable to me.
I mean, I guess we'll have to see what the players think. Sprint God moving on to the next level, 13 lives. Someone is saying that it's possible you have to beat level 1 with the pea shooter, and if that is the case, then that's pretty evil.
I've seen 2 lives and no extra lives, and now it seems it's not score either, because Sprint God had 120,000 and got the extra lives. Ooh, this is an enemy we haven't seen on Sprint God. Triscorp is in the lead.
I think the cutoff is either 100,000 points or you have to have the pea shooter at the end of level 1. It's one of those two. But yeah, that is really exciting. We had a lead change 40 minutes in. Sprint God is really good, though. I mean, they have a fast word in their name. That's how you know they're good. And Sprint God is currently pushing to try to get back into the lead. They don't know what place they are compared to Triscore, but a lot of players, like, it's safe to assume that if you're struggling with the game, somebody else is. And there we go, Sprint God to the boss as well. As it turns out, maybe just running past all of the enemies and tanking a few deaths is worth it. Maybe
Yeah, I don't
not.
think it... Yeah, unless Sprint God defeats this boss, Briscorp is in the lead because we don't have clear damage indication on the boss.
Oh, not at all, unless you can destroy some of the cannons on the boss. You can, but that's not oh, is that a win? Is the boss down? And there we go, Sprint God
moves into first.
Very
and
nice.
got to 10 lives.
Why? What is wrong with this game? Oh, people are saying it was a pea shooter kill. That might be it. If you do use the pea shooter and beat a level, maybe... Why would it be tied to that, though? Who made this game? I know the people who made Castlevania DOS made this game. I understand that. But still, who made this game? It's just, yeah, we'll have to see, like, if Sprint God and Triscore felt something else affected it, because, like, I'm not playing, I can't really feel. Sometimes there are just weird things that you do in a game that aren't noticeable to anybody else. I think that it may be the type of gun that you have that's related to whether or not you get to get the extra lives, but if so, that is so sad. Kinda funny, but so sad. I love the enemy sprites sort of getting stuck in the air with this helicopter. That makes me happy.
Yeah, I love the one frame of the no animation on those enemies.
Yeah, they're just sort of stuck in the air for a while. Well, there we go. Sprint God making a very good push, getting partway through level 3. This is a lead for Sprint God. Triscore just needs to get to level 3 and pass that point, though, in order to move back in the lead. Remember, though, this is a winner's bracket match, which means that whoever is eliminated will still be in the tournament. And honestly, I feel like that's one thing about Kusog7ande that I do like, that we sometimes have riskier games in the winner's bracket because, you know, nobody is getting kicked out because of losing a winner's bracket match.
Well, Briscorp I don't think is going to get the extra lives because it's 4 lives and he has an upgraded weapon.
Let's see what happens. Yep, 4 lives indeed. I think it has to do with the weapon type. Escorian in chat, one of the players in Kusog7ande this year, mentioned that and is the one currently working on that theory. And I do think that that theory may be correct, that the type of gun that you have at the end of the level affects whether or not you get the extra lives. And it may just be that people usually die in Contra games because they're really hard. So, like, whoever was testing it may not have tested it thoroughly enough to get to the end of level 1 with not a pea shooter.
Well, at least we have a falsifiable thesis.
Yes. With that said, it's up to the players to discover how they can actually have 10 extra lives. I'm not going to tell them. We're going to keep it a secret until they show up.
Both of them now know that the extra lives exist, but they don't know how to get them, and neither do we. So it's fair, I would say.
I think so. Yeah, I want to hear their theories.
I mean, even if it's a random element, I think both players have had equal opportunities.
Oh, for sure, and they've both had it happen. I would actually say, like, randomness is a little bit more allowed if, like, you're able to have that randomness happen a lot, you know, the roll of the die. But I would actually be really interested if anyone does go and test the various weapon types at the end of the level. That could be something worth going and documenting just for, like, historic, this is how this game works. It's a terrible, terrible thing that was probably on accident. Like, that would be interesting. So if anybody in chat is watching and just is tempted to go and do that, report back. I want to know.
Yeah, an interesting thing to test would be like many lives and the pea shooter.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, So what could be worth doing if somebody does want to go and test that is just going and making a save state, like right before the level transition. Die and lose the weapon, and then finish the level. And then don't die and finish the level. And then die again and finish the level. And then, I don't know, there are a few different things that you could do to try to test it. But yeah, there we go. Sprint God dying right towards the end, and I believe, according to our theories, this is what's going to give the 10 extra lives, having the pea shooter.
Yeah, our theory says that the Sprint God should have 12.
Yep.
Okay, so it's not falsified yet.
Escorian in chat is saying, you're not roping me into playing this game. Oh, come on. You know you want to. Hey.
Yeah.
Come on.
At least this match is interactive for the chat to speculate along with us. Which is also why Hana no Star Kaido was fascinating.
Come on. Aha! Okami's gonna do it for us! Okami, you fool! We have tricked you! Ha 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 ha! Yeah, I'm just trying to finish eating my lunch. And do commentary for a game that I've never played before. But at the same time, this has turned into a really interesting discussion. And let me just say, like, now that I've done a little programming for a game, because I have a little game out that I'm going to be expanding over the next months, I know that it's very possible that you linked two variables together and probably shouldn't have, and now nightmares happen.
Chris called with 2 lives and the pea shooter.
Is this 12 lives? 12 lives? Yes, 12 lives! I love, yeah, people are speculating, like, why is every port of Super C so bad? I'm not sure which ones are bad or good. I know that people really like the NES one. I know that the arcade game is supposed to be really good. I don't know about any of the other ports, though. Like, are you very familiar with other ports of the game, Donkey Kong?
No, I was never an NES guy.
Ah, yeah. Well, I mean, like, it's other non-NES ports of this game. Because the NES port people like, from what I see.
So what other ports are there?
Well, there's this. Apparently Game Boy has a good rendition of the boss theme. I didn't know there was a Game Boy version. Okay. I mean, there's a DOS version, supposedly. Which, I don't know, as soon as you say DOS and Konami, I get very excited. Because I love DOSylvania. Like, it's not good, but I love playing it. Oh.
And as we mentioned, it's the same devs as this port.
Oh, yeah. Like, there's something magical about classic games having their themes put on PC speaker and then having it in 4-color mode. Like, come on, you're speaking my language. This is how you suffer. This is the Mega Man DOS strat. It's great.
Mega Man DOS, from what I know, isn't even a port. It was a fan game that.
Oh yeah. But it's got PC speaker and it's got 4 colors. Like, anything that reminds me of Mega Man DOS is just inexplicably exciting to me. Yeah, I actually think Mega Man DOS is a really cool story that a guy essentially made a fan game, and they were like, look at this, Capcom, and Capcom's like, wow, this is pretty neat. Should we publish it?
Sprint,
oh, yeah!
Apparently Sprint got to level 2 without extra lives and decided to just reset.
I mean, probably a good idea.
Trolling us.
Yeah, and Chad is saying, kept the lightning gun and got no extra lives. This is so dumb. Yeah, I do have one other possible theory, in that maybe it doesn't matter what gun you have just as long as you die after you have beaten boss number 1. That's the only other explanation I have. Beat the boss, die once. But
I think
that's it.
From what chat has said, it's not consistent with what we've actually seen, though.
You're probably right, yeah. By the way, somebody in chat said that in DOSylvania you can manage to get Cookie Monster Dracula into the first level? What? Okay, if that's possible, I need to go back to this. I was going to do speedruns for a while, but then I forgot. Welcome to my life. I got distracted by other projects and didn't do that, but maybe I need to get back to DOSylvania. But yeah, so far, here's sort of my assessment of this game. It's not good. The Amiga could definitely have done better, and honestly, like, if for some reason with what you had didn't work, then management should have been like, okay, we can actually delay releasing this because guess what? People who have seen this on the Nintendo would probably want a decent version on the Amiga and not this. But no, it's usually management's fault if something gets rushed, if something gets shoved out the door that's not ready. That is management's fault and absolutely not the developers. The developers probably were underpaid and way overstressed during this entire project. So seriously, great job to the devs. I'm gonna wiggle my finger at whoever said this was ready to go.
Yeah, and sometimes arcade ports were planned as low-effort cash grabs because they were attractive to home computer players.
Oh yeah. Okay, there we go. Triscore actually has a lot of lives moving on after beating the boss of stage 1. Okay, Triskor grabbing the lightning gun. Okay. Well, Triskor, I think that if you die, you may be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I would be really interested to know what happens with the pea shooter and 8 lives. And no, we're not going to see that, but 8 lives going into level 2 isn't bad.
Yeah, 8 lives in level 2, acceptable. Like, that's actually the best performance we have seen in level 1. And honestly, starting level 2 with an upgraded weapon, although, you know, you're missing out on 10 lives, it still is the lightning gun. This is significantly better than the pea shooter. Oh, there we go. There's a death. And lightning gun again. Never mind, you can just get the lightning gun that far into the stage. Not worth it. Yeah, when I was a kid, I wasn't, like, really into action-oriented games. I suppose, like, even now, that's not really what I look for when I'm playing a video game. Even though, like, I'm a big Returnal fan, I've played a lot of Doom, I've played, like, all the Half-Life games, except I haven't finished Alex VR yet. Like, I've played a lot of action games, but that's not, like, the genre that I look for when I play a game. And Contra, I'm not sure why it never grabbed me as, hey, go ahead and play this game. I don't know.
So Matt D in chat says that they might have had a beer with the dev who did this.
Aha! Well, good. I want a beer with the person who did this. Come on, let's talk about horror stories like this game. Honestly, I'd be very curious, like, how the work environment was and if everything was just really, really terrible or if they were treated well. I want to know, like, what caused this game to be released in the state that it was released. Okay, Triskor, if you keep playing, this is your last chance, really. It looks like Triskor may be loading the state or just not going to play anymore. I think Triskor is done.
Yeah, this might just be showing off the intro or measuring how much time it would take, because that was not loading the stage.
Yeah, this looks like it's probably... Is this the demo? Is there a demo in this game?
No, for me it looped on the intro.
Okay, in that case, Triskor jumped back into it one last time. Even if you can't, if there's no guarantee that you'll be able to pass where you made it to, it is still worth trying. I always say you never know what you're going to find during the last few minutes. We've had people suddenly, like, get wrong warped into an odd situation, and while that, like, can kind of suck in some cases for the winner's bracket, and I'm a lot more okay allowing something like that.
Triskor is playing his mind out, not dying once until this part of the stage.
Yeah, honestly, like, it's really impressive to see people playing stage 1 as well as Triskor. Triskor, like, has played some incredibly tricky games over the years, though. Like, even though Triskor is not going to be winning this match, I still think that Triskor has, like, displayed learning this game possibly even better than Sprint God.
Yeah, this is an amazing performance from both players. It's just that Sprint God's was better.
Yeah, just Sprint God had the one push that really made a huge difference, which was essentially go, damage boost through everything, die a whole bunch, play the game not the way I'm supposed to, and get to level 3, and that worked. Yeah.
Yeah, both players have seen the level 2 boss. Triskor got chunked on it, and Sprint God managed to move to the side and find some kind of strat.
Heck yeah, well that is the end of the match. We are at the hour. Throw your hands up in the air, everybody. This has been a lot of fun. Definitely a difficult game. Definitely not the best well-made game, and definitely a game that has some issues giving extra lives. But let me go ahead and say they are welcome to come and chat with us. Join General Voice if you'd like, because I want to hear people's opinions. It's very clear, though, that Sprint God took the victory in this match. Triscore took second. Both had some excellent attempts. And honestly, I think the players should just feel great about how they did.
Yeah, because this is not a fair game. It's laggy, it controls... Ooh.
Yeah, it is definitely rough to control. Oh, but Sprint God's with us. Hello there, Sprint God. If you are there, hello. If you're not there, if you can't talk, I just want to say congratulations. Oh, your mic needs fixing. Fine, I'll go ahead and wait. Waiting for Sprint God to come in. My gosh. This Terminator NES music is ridiculously good, let me tell you. Predator. Fine, whatever. Predator, Terminator, has the same person.
Ocean, always with good music and the Kusog7ande games.
Oh, yeah, for sure. All right, Triscore is here, Sprint God as well. Hello there, Sprint God.
Hello, are we working now?
Yeah, I can hear you great, and congratulations, you managed to take the victory.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you, Triscore, honestly, you took the lead about 40 minutes in when you got to the boss of level 2. And then, like, 1 minute later, Sprint God had just damage boosted through everything, killed the second boss, and got to level 3. And I'm like, well, okay, Triscore had it for a little while. That's okay.
At that point, I basically decided I don't care anymore. I'm just walking through everything. I'm gonna die, so I may as well make progress while I'm dying.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah, Triscore, I would say that, like, Sprint God technically made more progress. I feel like Triscore really understood how to play the game. Like, Sprint God, let me tell you, Triscore made it to level 2 with 8 lives. Yeah, which was really impressive. I was shocked that Triscore was able to do that. Like, what were you trying to do, Triscore? What was your main strategy as you approached this game? Same.
I had to think because I'm really frustrated about this life thing.
We're gonna talk about that, don't worry.
Yeah. I'm still not entirely sure what it is that does it. Is it ending with the regular gun or something?
Here's a secret, neither are the GMs.
We believe we're about, I'd say probably 85 to 90% sure that you have to end the level with the regular gun in order to get 10 extra lives. That's definitely not intended, as far as I can tell.
Our best guess is you get 10 lives for ending with a pea shooter.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, the first time I got through, it gave me the 10 lives.
So
and then the second 2 times through, it didn't give me the 10 lives.
Yeah.
So you're,
Okay.
So you're telling me.
Okay.
Because I did so good.
Uh-huh.
That I didn't get 10 extra lives and lost the match.
Uh-huh.
Yes, this is a bad game.
Yeah. Okay, I kind of love it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Triscore, you were so good.
As soon as I saw it happen, I spent like the next 20 minutes, 30 minutes just trying weird shit in level 1 to figure out what causes it.
Yeah, and I believe that you put the pieces of the puzzle together. And like I said, Triscore, I think you learned how to play the game better than Sprint God did. But Sprint God managed to have that one push and figure out stupid, broken programming in order to have the advantage there. And welcome to Kusog7ande. You basically, you got, it's not even bootlegged. You got Konami'd, I guess.
tried so hard to get lives. I thought it was just smashing A constantly on the loading screen.
Yeah, like there are two theories that I have, and Okami is actually going and testing it right now. Why? Because Okami heard about this and decided to. But yeah, my theory is that like there are two possible ways. One, you may have to die after you beat the first boss, or two, you have to end the stage with the pea shooter. And I think number two is probably the best option. Oh, Okami, you would try that if you had the game? Wow, I didn't know you needed this much help. Okay, well, we can help you sometime then.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the pea shooter.
Yeah.
But it needs more testing to be absolutely sure.
I really figured out level 1 too. The only thing I couldn't do damage left was the helicopter.
That helicopter, it's so annoying. But
4 turrets, I can't. I have to wait for them to damage them, and I can't, like, for the first shot, I just can't avoid it. I don't know what to do. I die there every single time.
I managed to dodge the first 2 barrages, but I always got hit by the third set of bullets. I just could not get through there without dying at all.
But with that said, like, I feel like both of you, you know, you had different strategies. You did fantastic jobs, and I got very, I was very excited to see how you both did. It was just very different stuff. Very different stuff. Oh my gosh, my brain. Just a second.
It's good to hear. I was getting bored of this game. This game was real. It got on my nerves how boring it was.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank goodness I wasn't bored at all throughout this. I really enjoyed watching your very different strategies attempting this game. And I was wondering if we were going to see more of level 3, but we only saw it that one time. It was that one push that Sprint God had that solidified the win there. Otherwise, it was just really a very bad Contra. I would say, like, I haven't played a whole lot of Contra games. Play anything other than this. Maybe you could go and play Super C on DOS. Huh? That sounds great.
Maybe I should, because as of now, this is the Contra game I played more than any other Contra game.
I mean, I say that, but, like, this and the DOS version were made by the same people who made Castlevania on DOS, so that's probably a bad idea. Don't do it. But, like, the NES Contra games, for sure, and apparently the arcade version of this is either okay or good, depending on who you ask.
Well, it's, from what Chet mentioned, the arcade version has the same problem as Haunted Castle in that it caps your credits.
Yeah, I believe it caps them at 20... Oh, the arcade version does? I know the arcade version of Haunted Castle caps credits. Oh, that's terrifying. I don't think you can get over 20 lives in the Amiga version of Super Contra. So, like, you still do have a limit for how many lives you can have. Still, just having over 10 lives moving on to level 2 is a huge difference. It's very, very helpful. With that...
Me.
With that said, you're not out of it. Both of you did a fantastic job. It's just Sprint God learned the speed strats, and Triscore learned the actually playing the game strats. And I think both of you should be really happy with how you did, because honestly, like, I think it was closer than it should have been, considering that, like, neither of you really completely understood how the lives worked. It was still pretty dang close. I loved it. With that said, Triscore, are you doing anything on stream these days? Anything exciting that people should know about?
Really?
Not. Oh no.
I've done. It's like this RPG book club, but I've already done it, so no streams.
No streams. I loved being on the RPG. Oh, not the RPG book club. I was on Okami's Retro book club, and that was a lot of fun. But yeah, you'll have to find an excuse. Submit something to Don't Make Us Bored or something. I'd love to have you. It's always a good time to have you.
I only had you once.
Well, I always love having you that one time. I've talked to you more than once, okay? I've talked to you more than once in my life, and maybe I've only had you on that show once, but I still enjoyed it. So, whatever. Seriously though, great to have you, Spring God. What about you? Are you doing anything these days that people should know about?
I haven't been streaming on my own stream, but I have been taking part in other streams. Like the other day, I was doing if anyone's familiar with the fighting game Melty Blood, I was doing
That sounds familiar. I haven't played it. Yeah.
Well, in that game, I play as the most Kusog character in the history of fighting games, Neko Arc.
How do you spell
and
that?
Yesterday, I was doing a Necoarc.
Neko Arc.
It's RNG, the character, the movie, the whatever. Just...
Okay, Neko Arc, Melty Blood. Well, I like broken things. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yesterday we did a mirror match exhibition, which is basically just filling the screen with stupid cats.
I love it. That's great. Well, thank you both so much, and thank you as well, Donkey Clonk. I hope that this has at least turned your day around a little bit and that you had some fun with some Super Contra and that we got to learn when programming how to give extra lives after a level ends. You may wish to double check that. Double check your code, everybody.
Don't be inattention.
Don't be inattention. Oh, that's probably going to be our raid message, actually. And from what I see, Gilder is playing King of the Castle. I actually have not seen or played along with any of that, and maybe I will because I've heard some very good things. So let's go and bother Gilder real quick. I hear that everybody in the audience can play if they want. But let's not be in attention. Don't be in attention. Okay, don't be in attention. Okami, I'm definitely gonna have to chat with you though, and talk about like your findings if you do check out Amiga, this version of the game, because I want to know if that like our beliefs about how you actually get extra lives is true. All right, everybody. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I haven't sent Okami the game yet. I was going to do that after the stream end.
Aha! Okami, you'll be getting your game. That's a threat and a promise. Okay, let's go bother Gilder. I will see everybody later. Hopefully Tuesday for Don't Make Us Bored. Spring God and Triscore, thank you. I'll see you later.
Donkey Clonk, you're grounded.
Donkey Kong left before you could say that. All right, bye everybody. See ya.